Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive on something I bet you see every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Influencer marketing. You know, all those sponsored posts on your feed,
Definitely.
all those shout outs you see. Well, today we're going to really dig into how all that works.
Awesome.
We're taking a close look at a blog post from Buy Social Traffic.
Okay.
It's called Introduction to Influencer Marketing and Strategies. And it's honestly super fascinating.
It is. It's a really good breakdown of this whole world.
Yeah, it's amazing how influencer marketing has become well, everywhere online these days.
It really has. It's a core part of our whole digital experience now.
Totally. And what's so interesting to me is how much it's evolved.
Hmm.
Like we've gone from those big celebrity endorsements to this whole network of, influencers.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
a whole different world.
It is. It is. I mean, back in the day, it was all about celebrities.
Right. Like Michael Jordan.
Exactly. Like Michael Jordan and Nike.
Huge names, huge reach.
Huge reach, for sure.
But sometimes it felt like, I don't know, those endorsements lacked something.
They did.
Like I remember those Michael Jordan ads.
Oh, for sure.
They were cool, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they didn't necessarily make me want to run out and buy Nikes.
Right, right. I mean, those were awesome ads, sure.
Yeah.
But they didn't really have that, personal touch,
Yeah, it's true.
It was just like, hey, here's Michael Jordan, buy these shoes.
Exactly.
Now it's different. Like, you see these fitness people
Okay.
with, dedicated followers,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll recommend certain workout gear.
Right.
And people actually listen because they trust their opinion.
It's about the authenticity.
Exactly. It's about authenticity and connection.
It's a totally different game.
It really is.
So it's not just about reach anymore.
No.
It's about, like we said, trust and relevance.
Yeah.
But before we go too far, let's take a step back for a second.
Sure.
Can you break down, what exactly is influencer marketing?
So influencer marketing is basically all about individuals who have built up this strong online presence.
Right, our influencers.
Our influencers, exactly.
Right.
And they partner with brands
Yeah.
to promote their products or services to
Mhm.
their audience,
To their audience.
to their specific audience. It's almost like a friend recommending something they like.
I like that.
So think about it.
Uh-huh.
If you see a fitness influencer you follow
Mm-hmm.
and they're raving about a new protein powder,
Okay.
you're more likely to try that out than if you just saw a random ad,
Yeah.
right?
It's true. It's like, I trust their opinion
Exactly.
because they're in that world
Yeah.
and you feel like they get it.
Yes.
And it's different from just a generic ad,
Totally.
So how did we go from those big name celebrities
Right.
to this whole network of influencers? Because it seems like everyone's an influencer now.
Oh, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the power of social media. It's democratized influence.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
no longer need to be a Hollywood A-lister to have a voice and an audience.
Yeah, that's true.
We have these micro-influencers now
Oh,
with maybe a few thousand followers, but they're super engaged.
right.
And then we have nano-influencers with even smaller
Okay,
but super dedicated communities.
gotcha.
So that means brands of all sizes can find the right people to connect with their target audience.
I see.
So think of a small beauty brand.
Okay.
They might find more success working with a beauty blogger
Mhm.
who has a few thousand engaged followers
Right.
than with some mega influencer with millions
That makes sense.
who might not even be into makeup. They don't care.
It's about finding those niche communities
Exactly.
where people trust specific voices.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about what influencer marketing is,
Mhm.
but why does this whole thing actually work?
It's trust.
All right.
Think about your own experience online. You're scrolling through your feed. You
Yeah.
see all these ads, right?
Yeah.
You probably just tune most of them out.
Yeah. It's like noise.
It's noise.
Totally.
But then when someone you follow,
Okay.
someone whose style you like or whose advice you value,
Right. Right.
they recommend something,
Yeah.
it feels different.
It does.
Feels like an actual suggestion,
Yeah.
not just some marketing thing.
Yeah, you're right. It cuts through all that advertising clutter.
Exactly.
It's kind of like that old word of mouth marketing,
Oh, totally.
but amplified by social media.
It is.
We trust our friends and we trust the people we follow online.
Mhm.
If their content really connects with us.
Yeah, if it resonates with you.
So brands are basically tapping into that existing trust.
They're leveraging that human connection
That's smart.
and making marketing feel less like marketing,
I like
a
that.
little bit more personal.
Yeah, less salesy.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established influencer marketing is a big deal.
It's huge.
But what are the benefits for brands? What's in it for them?
So there's a lot of benefits.
Oh, wait.
One of the big ones is increased reach and awareness.
Makes sense.
So by partnering with influencers, brands can get in front of new audiences
Okay.
that they might not have been able to reach on their own.
So it's about expanding that reach.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. So think of like a local coffee shop,
Okay.
and they team up with a popular food blogger
Okay.
in their city.
Right.
The blogger's followers are probably mostly local people,
Yeah.
so they're more likely to go check out that new latte,
Right.
the one the blogger is raving about.
Because they trust them.
They trust them, yeah.
That's a great example.
So they've essentially expanded their reach through that influencer.
Like hyper-targeted advertising,
Exactly.
but through a trusted voice.
It's brilliant.
It really is.
And it's not just about reaching new people.
Okay, well,
It's also about credibility.
makes sense.
So think about like a new tech startup. Okay.
They're launching like a new gadget, something cutting edge, partnering with a tech influencer,
Okay.
someone who's known for doing like in-depth reviews.
Right.
That adds instant credibility.
Because people trust their expertise.
They trust their expertise.
And they're more likely to check it out.
Exactly.
And maybe buy it.
Yeah, maybe make a purchase.
It's like almost like a seal of approval
It is. It is.
from someone you already trust in that space.
Yes,
And we all know how powerful those online reviews are.
totally. They influence like everything we buy these days.
Right.
It's all about tapping into that.
So we got increased reach, we got credibility.
Yes.
What else?
And then there's engagement.
Okay. Yeah.
So influencers tend to have way higher engagement
Oh, yeah.
than brands do on their own.
I can imagine. Like way higher. So people are actually like commenting and liking and sharing,
Yes.
having real conversations.
Real conversation.
That's great for a brand.
It's gold. It really is.
So think of like a fashion brand they're running, like a giveaway with a fashion influencer.
Okay.
Their followers are way more likely to participate,
Yeah, I bet.
share it with their friends, and that leads to real brand loyalty.
Awesome. So we got increased reach, credibility, engagement.
To trifecta.
It sounds like a marketer's dream come true.
It does. It does.
But are there any downsides? Is it all sunshine and rainbows in influencer land?
Not quite.
Okay.
Like any strategy, there are challenges.
All right, like what?
One of the big ones is finding the right influencer.
Okay.
It's not just about how many followers they have. It's
Right.
about finding someone whose audience really aligns with your target market
Makes sense.
and whose values match your brand.
So like a vegan food brand
Yeah.
wouldn't want to partner with someone who's always promoting fast food.
No, that would just be confusing. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
It needs to be a genuine
A
fit.
genuine fit. Exactly.
Okay, what other challenges are there?
Another big one is measuring ROI,
Okay.
return on investment.
Gotcha.
So it can be tricky
Yeah.
to track exactly how much an influencer campaign is contributing to your sales or your
Okay.
brand awareness.
It's not as simple as just tracking clicks on an ad.
No, it's not. It's more complex.
Yeah.
You have to look at a lot of things,
Okay.
like engagement, website traffic, maybe even use special codes to track sales.
Oh, interesting.
That came from an influencer's recommendation.
Okay.
It's a lot more complex than traditional marketing measurement.
Speaking of complex, what about all those like hashtag ad and hashtag sponsored tags we see everywhere?
Oh, yeah. Those are important. Like,
Okay.
so that's all about transparency and compliance.
Right.
It's really important for brands and influencers
Yeah.
to be upfront about their partnership.
Okay.
Influencers need to say clearly when they're getting paid for a post. And that's not just good practice. It's often required by law.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's about maintaining that trust with the audience.
It is.
Nobody likes to feel tricked
Exactly.
into watching an ad disguised as a genuine recommendation.
It's all about transparency.
Transparency is key.
It protects the brand. It protects the influencer.
Yeah.
And keeps things honest
For the audience.
for everyone. Yeah.
So it sounds like there's a lot to think about
There is.
when it comes to influencer marketing.
It's a whole world.
It's not as simple as just finding someone with a lot of followers
No.
and sending them free stuff.
No, definitely not.
So let's get into like the strategic side of things.
Okay. Yeah.
Like how does a brand actually create a successful influencer marketing campaign?
All right. So first things first.
Okay.
You have to set clear goals.
Goals. Yeah.
What are you actually trying to do with this campaign?
What are you hoping to achieve?
Exactly.
Okay.
Are you trying to raise brand awareness? Drive sales for a specific product?
Okay.
Maybe boost engagement on social media?
Right. Every goal needs a different approach.
Every single one.
Gotcha.
So, like, let's say a fitness brand.
Okay.
Their goal is to increase sales
Mhm.
for their new product line.
Okay.
Their influencer marketing strategy
Yeah.
would focus on partnering with, like, fitness influencers
Makes sense.
to really showcase those products in action.
Okay.
Show the benefits to their audience.
So step 1, define the goals.
Exactly.
Then comes the fun part,
Yeah.
finding the influencers.
Yes.
But with so many out there,
So many.
how do you even start narrowing it down?
So it's kind of like matchmaking.
Okay.
You need to find influencers whose audience really aligns with your target market.
Right.
And there are actually tools for this,
Oh, cool.
like BuzzSumo and Hype Auditor.
Okay.
These platforms can help you analyze influencers based on all kinds of things.
Like what?
Their audience demographics, engagement rates, content style. Wow.
Even what brands they already like.
So it takes the guesswork out of it.
It does. It makes it a lot easier.
That's awesome. It's like a dating app for brands and influencers.
It kind of is, yeah.
Okay, so you use these tools, you find some potential matches.
Mm-hmm.
Then what? Do you, like, slide into their DMs?
Not quite. Once you've identified some potential influencers,
Yeah.
you need to, like, reach out,
Okay.
build a relationship.
Right.
So this might involve sending them info about your brand,
Mhm.
maybe some product samples,
Got it.
even inviting them to your office or store.
Okay.
The goal is to build a connection.
Make sure there's a fit.
Exactly.
So it's about building a real partnership,
It is.
not just like a transactional exchange.
Yeah.
You want someone who really vibes with your brand
Yes.
and believes in what you're doing.
That's the key.
Okay, so you found the perfect match.
Awesome.
Now what?
Now you need a collaboration plan.
Okay, this is where we get down to business.
This is it, yeah. The nitty-gritty of the campaign.
The details, the detail.
Okay, so what's in this plan?
So you need to outline the objectives.
Mm-hmm.
What are you delivering? The timeline.
Okay.
And, of course, the compensation. Clear communication is key here.
Makes sense.
You want to make sure both sides are on the same page.
Working towards the same goals.
Exactly.
I bet this is super important, especially when you're working with, like, creative people.
For sure.
Everyone needs to be aligned
Totally
on the
right.
vision and the deliverables.
It's all about setting those expectations.
Right from the start.
From day one.
So, for example,
Okay, I got it.
imagine a travel agency
Okay.
partnering with a travel influencer.
Makes sense.
They might agree on a series of posts
Okay.
showcasing a specific destination.
Gotcha.
The plan would include, like, how often they're posting,
Uh-huh.
what the themes are,
Hmm.
what hashtags to use.
Yeah, to make sure the campaign is cohesive and effective.
So it's like a blueprint,
It is a blueprint.
making sure everyone knows what they're doing.
What?
Okay, so then comes the really fun part,
The magic.
creating the content.
Yes.
So what's the secret?
Well,
Does the brand just hand over the reins and let the influencer do their thing?
it's a collaboration.
Okay.
You have to trust the influencer
Yeah.
to create content that feels authentic to their style.
Okay.
But brands should also give, like, clear guidelines and feedback.
So it's a balance
It is.
between giving creative freedom
Yeah.
and making sure it aligns with the brand's message
Yeah, exactly.
and their goals.
That's the sweet spot.
And authenticity is key. You
Absolutely.
don't want it to feel forced
No.
or like too promotional.
It should feel organic.
Yeah, and genuine.
Totally.
It should feel like a natural extension of what they already do,
Yes.
just with a brand tie-in.
Seamless integration.
Okay, so for example, a beauty brand
Yeah.
could ask influencers to create Get Ready With Me videos
Perfect example.
using their product.
Is that
It feels much more natural
way more?
than like a traditional ad.
Totally.
So the influencer can showcase the product
Yeah.
in a way that feels authentic.
It's about storytelling.
I like that.
And then finally, and this is maybe the most important part,
Okay.
you have to monitor
Uh-huh.
and measure how your campaign is doing.
Ah, yes. The data.
The data.
It's the lifeblood of any good campaign.
It really is.
So what kind of things do you track?
Lots of things.
Okay.
Engagement metrics.
Like what?
Likes, comments, shares, saves,
Gotcha.
website traffic from the influencers' links, and of course, any conversions,
Like actual sales.
sales, signups,
Okay.
anything that you can tie back to the campaign.
So it's about looking at the whole picture,
It is.
not just like vanity metrics.
Yeah.
Follower count.
No.
But real results?
Engagement and measurable results.
Measurable results. I like that.
And there are tools out there to help,
Oh, good.
like Google Analytics, a must-have for tracking website traffic.
Gotcha.
And most social media platforms have built-in analytics
Awesome.
that can give you valuable insights.
So it sounds like there's a whole science to this.
There is. It's a science.
But that's what makes it so fascinating, right?
I like
It's a constantly evolving landscape.
it keeps things interesting.
It really does.
It really does.
Well, I'm definitely feeling way more informed
Good.
about this whole influencer marketing world.
Awesome.
We've covered a lot,
We have.
from the history and evolution
Mm-hmm.
to the benefits and challenges
Yes.
and how to create a winning strategy.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's been so insightful.
I'm glad.
What's really fascinating to me
Yeah.
is how this all ties back to us,
Oh, yeah.
the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
We're constantly being influenced online,
Constantly.
often without even realizing it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's crazy.
It is.
Hey there, future influencers. Are you ready to turn your love for social media into serious cash? Say hello to Buy Social Traffic and our game-changing Influencer Starter Kit. We know starting out can feel like climbing a mountain, but guess what? We're here to make it a breeze. Our team will craft a custom growth and monetization plan just for you. And the best part? We even offer done-for-you services to get you crushing it from day one. Picture this: growing your followers, building your brand, and getting paid, all at the same time. Sound like a dream? It's not. Tap that link in the description and use promo code PODCAST to grab 10% off your starter kit today. Don't wait. This is your moment to shine. Your influencer journey starts now with Buy Social Traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. We're continuing our deep dive on influencer marketing.
Yeah, we're in the thick of it now.
And before the break, we were talking about how we as consumers are constantly being influenced
Yeah,
by all these online recommendations.
It's true. It's not always like a conscious thing either, you know?
Yeah, it's subtle.
It's very subtle.
Like, think about the last time you saw a product recommended by like an influencer you follow.
Yeah,
Did it make you think about buying it?
it probably did.
Maybe even just a little bit.
At least a little.
Or like, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
a travel blogger raving about some like hidden gem destination.
All right.
Did it spark your wanderlust?
Oh,
I'm like a total sucker for a good travel recommendation.
yeah, me too.
Especially if it's from someone whose travel style I like really admire.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's the power of influencer marketing, right?
That's it.
It's tapping into that desire for connection.
Yeah.
And the trust we have in those we follow online.
And it's not just products either.
Okay.
Influencers can shape our opinions on like so many things.
Like what?
Social issues, even political candidates.
Wow, that's a whole other level.
It is. It is.
It makes you realize the responsibility
Oh, yeah. Huge responsibility.
that comes with having a platform and an audience.
Absolutely.
It's a big deal.
It really is. And it raises questions, too,
Okay, like what?
about, media literacy and critical thinking.
Especially in this digital age.
Especially now with so much information coming at us.
It can be overwhelming.
It really can't. It's like, how do we even know
Right.
what to trust?
Like, how do we know who's being genuine
Mm-hmm.
and who's just trying to, like, sell us something?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
It feels like we need to develop, like, a sixth sense
I know, right?
for sniffing out authenticity.
You gotta be like a digital detective or something.
Seriously?
But, there are things you can look for.
Okay, like what?
Pay attention to the influencer's overall content.
Okay.
Do they seem genuine?
Yeah.
Do they promote, like, a random assortment of stuff? Okay.
Or do they focus on things that seem to align with their values?
Right, like their niche.
Exactly.
So, like, if a fitness influencer
Yeah.
suddenly starts promoting, I don't know, sugary drinks and fast food.
Right. That's a red flag.
That would be kind of weird.
Definitely a little suspicious.
Right.
It's all about consistency.
Okay, consistency.
And don't be afraid to do a little research, too.
Oh, interesting.
Check out their past collaborations.
Okay.
See what other brands they've worked with
Mm-hmm.
and how they integrated those partnerships into their content.
So, look beyond the pretty pictures
Yes.
and the catchy captions.
Don't be fooled by the surface.
And really dig into,
Yeah.
like, the substance of their content
Exactly.
and their collaborations.
It's all about the substance.
Okay. And what else?
Trust your gut.
Okay.
If something feels off
Yeah.
or too good to be true,
Mm-hmm.
It probably is.
That's good advice.
It applies online as much as it does in real life.
That's so true.
It really is. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit
Sure.
and talk about the future of influencer marketing.
Okay.
Where do you see this whole industry going?
Ooh, good question.
Like, what's next?
Well, influencer marketing is still relatively new, right?
Yeah.
But it's evolving super fast.
It really is.
And one trend we're seeing is the rise of like micro and nano influencers.
We talked about those a little bit earlier.
We did.
Can you remind us what those terms mean?
Yeah, so micro influencers, they typically have between 10,000 and 100,000 followers,
Okay.
while nano influencers,
Yeah.
they have even smaller followings,
Gotcha.
usually under 10,000.
Okay.
But what they might lack in size,
Yeah.
they make up for in engagement
Okay.
and authenticity.
So it's those niche communities again.
It is.
People trust these smaller creators
Yeah,
because they feel more relatable,
more relatable than
less like, I don't know, celebrity influencers.
Yeah, less polished, more real.
And brands are catching on to this,
They are.
realizing it's often more effective to partner with like a group of micro-influencers
Yeah,
who have really engaged audiences
totally.
than one mega-influencer with millions of followers.
Right, because those millions might not even care about your product.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity.
It is. It's about finding the right fit.
And I bet those smaller influencers are more affordable too
Oh, for sure.
for brands.
Yeah, they have lower rates.
Which is great news
It is.
for businesses with like smaller budgets.
Definitely more accessible.
Okay, so what about the content itself?
Oh, good question.
Any trends on the horizon there?
Yeah, one trend we're seeing is
Okay.
a shift toward like
Yeah.
more authentic content,
Okay.
less polished.
So less staged, more real.
Exactly.
Like, remember how we talked about those
Yeah.
Get Ready With Me videos?
Perfect example.
People are craving that realness.
They are. They want to see real life.
Yeah, that relatability.
They want to see influencers using products
Mm.
in their everyday lives.
Not just in, like,
Yeah.
perfectly staged photo shoot.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about showcasing the product naturally.
Yeah, making it feel like a genuine part of their life.
Seamless integration.
And this ties into another trend,
Oh, well,
short-form video content.
TikTok, Reels, all of that.
Those are everywhere.
They're everywhere, and they're perfect for showing products
Okay.
quickly and engagingly.
It's amazing how those short videos can, like,
Yeah.
capture your attention
Mhm.
and tell a whole story in, like, a few seconds.
It's incredible. They're so powerful.
And for brands,
Yeah.
it's a more affordable way
Way more affordable.
to create video content.
It is. You don't need a big budget anymore.
So it's leveling the playing field
It is. It's really exciting.
for smaller brands.
And creators.
Yeah, I love that.
That's great to see.
But with all this talk about
Mhm.
authenticity and relatability,
Yeah.
is there a risk of, like,
Okay.
influencers losing credibility
Right.
if they partner with too many brands?
That's a great question.
Like, do they become less trustworthy?
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
Huh.
Influencers have to strike a balance
Yeah.
between partnering with brands
Right.
and maintaining that authenticity.
Like sense.
They have to be selective about the collaborations they choose
You okay?
and make sure the products align with their values.
And their audience's interests.
Exactly.
So it's like quality over quantity again.
It is. It is.
It's about building those long-term relationships
Yeah.
with brands that they genuinely believe in.
Not just jumping on every opportunity.
Yeah, not just chasing a quick buck.
Exactly. It has to be a good fit.
And brands need to respect that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
They should see influencers as partners,
Okay.
not just like marketing tools.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
It is. It is.
Both the influencer and the brand need to be invested
Totally.
for it to really work.
And when it's done right, yeah,
Influencer marketing is a win-win.
for everyone.
For everyone, the brand, the influencer, the audience,
Everybody wins.
everybody wins.
Okay, we've covered so much ground today.
We really have.
We've talked about like the power of this whole thing,
Mhm.
the importance of authenticity,
Yeah.
transparency,
Transparency is key.
and even critical thinking
Oh, so
in this
needing.
digital age.
It really is.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to circle back
Mhm.
to something we touched on earlier.
Great.
Critical thinking in the digital age.
Yes.
It's more important than ever.
I think so, with so much information coming at us.
From everywhere,
All directions.
we have to be able to discern
Mm-hmm.
what's real,
What's real?
what's biased,
What's fake?
and what's just trying to sell us something.
It's like You need to be a digital detective,
We do. We really do.
always looking for clues
Right.
to figure out the real intention
Behind the content.
behind it all.
And it's not just about influencer marketing either. No, it's everything.
This applies to social media,
News websites,
online shopping.
all of it.
So how can we,
Yeah.
hone our critical thinking skills?
Okay, good question.
What can we do?
So one key strategy
Okay.
is to diversify your information sources.
Okay, so not just relying on
Yeah,
one news website
Right.
or one influencer
exactly.
for all your information.
You gotta broaden your horizons.
Yeah, don't get stuck in that echo chamber.
Exactly. Expose yourself to different perspectives.
Okay, so diversify. And what else?
Don't be afraid to question what you see online.
Okay.
Ask yourself
Yeah.
who made this content?
Mm-hmm.
What's their agenda?
Right.
What are they trying to achieve?
So think critically.
Yes.
Don't just passively
Be
consume.
an active participant.
Engage your brain.
Exactly.
Okay, and what else?
Remember, you have the power to choose
Okay,
what you consume.
right.
You can unfollow influencers
Mm-hmm.
who don't align with your values
Uh-uh.
or who promote stuff you're not into.
Right.
You can mute or block accounts
Yeah.
that spread negativity or misinformation.
So we have more control
You do.
than we realize.
You really do.
We can curate our own online experience
Create a digital space.
that feels positive
That feels good.
and authentic.
That's the power of being a conscious consumer.
I love that.
It's about taking ownership
Of your digital life.
and making choices that align with your values.
Yeah, and your well-being.
Your mental well-being, too.
So it's about being mindful, being critical,
Yes.
and being empowered
That's it.
in the digital world.
The digital world is your oyster.
Great advice.
I'm glad you found it helpful.
I think our listeners will too.
I hope so.
And speaking of our listeners,
Yes.
we've reached the end
Oh, already.
of our deep dive on influencer marketing.
Time flies.
But don't worry,
Oh.
we've got more insights and resources for you,
Awesome.
waiting in part 3.
Can't wait.
So stick around.
We'll be right back.
We are back for the final part of our influencer marketing deep dive.
It's been a journey,
It has.
for sure.
And we've covered a lot.
Oh, yeah.
From the the history of it all
Mhm.
to the challenges and even critical thinking
Absolutely.
in this digital age.
It's a wild world out there.
It is.
But before we wrap things up,
Yeah.
I wanted to leave you with a few, key takeaways.
I love a good takeaway.
Oh, yeah.
Lay them on us.
Okay, so first and foremost,
Right.
remember that influencer marketing is really about
Okay.
building genuine connections.
Connections. Okay.
It's about finding those influencers who really, truly align with your brand values
Makes sense.
and whose audience is really interested in what you have to offer.
Okay.
It's not just about follower count.
Right.
It's about finding those niche communities
Yeah.
where your message will resonate.
Okay. So it's about quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Finding those authentic voices that can connect with their audience.
On a personal level.
Okay. I like that.
And secondly, don't forget about transparency.
Transparency.
So important.
Right,
Both
right.
brands and influencers
Yeah.
need to be upfront about their partnerships.
Absolutely.
Clear disclosures are essential
Yeah.
for keeping that trust with the audience.
Yeah. Nobody likes to feel tricked.
No one wants to feel like they're being sold something.
Right. Disguised as a genuine recommendation.
Exactly. Keep it honest. Keep it authentic.
Okay. And last but not least,
Last,
what's our final takeaway?
remember that you, the consumer,
Okay.
have the power to choose.
Choose what?
Choose what you consume.
Right.
You can unfollow influencers that don't align with your values.
Yeah.
You can mute or block accounts
Mm-hmm.
that spread negativity.
Yeah. Or misinformation.
All of that.
Okay.
You can curate your own online experience.
Right. Make it a positive space.
Make it a positive and informative space.
I like that. Take control
It's about being an empowered consumer.
in the digital age.
Yeah, it really is.
That's great advice.
And I hope so.
I think our listeners will find those takeaways super helpful
Yeah, they're good reminders.
as they navigate, the world of influencer marketing.
This crazy world.
And speaking of our listeners,
Yes.
if you want to learn even more about this whole topic,
Mm-hmm.
be sure to check out the show notes.
We have tons of resources there.
links to articles
Right.
and other resources
That's the stuff.
that can help you dive even deeper
Take that deep dive.
into this fascinating world.
It's a rabbit hole,
It really is.
but it's a good one.
So whether you're,
Mm-hmm.
a business owner
Yeah,
looking to leverage the power of this whole influencer marketing thing,
for sure.
or just a curious consumer
Totally.
who wants to understand how it all works,
Yeah, how this whole digital world is operating.
we got you covered.
You do.
And on that note,
Yeah,
I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive.
all good things must come to an end.
But remember,
Okay.
knowledge is power.
It really is.
The more we understand about how influencer marketing works,
Mm-hmm.
the better equipped we are
Yeah.
to navigate this crazy digital world.
It's only getting crazier out there.
With confidence.
And awareness.
So stay curious,
Keep learning.
and until next time,
See you then.
keep exploring.